Hey guys, Mickey Morris here, and welcome to this week's Couch Talk. Yes, we are actually doing a real couch talk, not the couch talk revamped that my adorable and hilarious bigger, younger brother decided to film, but this is a real one. And today I wanted to talk about why I became an entrepreneur. I was reminded of my why, or at least one of the reasons why, yesterday when I went to go set up a bank account or a credit union account at one of the credit unions down here, and they offered me a job. And it's funny because that's exactly how I got my other job at the first credit union that I ever worked at. I went to go open an account and they offered me a gig. But what was different about this time was that I wasn't even slightly tempted to take it. I was so proud of myself to have emotionally gotten to that point where I know that I am so committed to being an entrepreneur and I'm so committed to my business and what I do that there wasn't even a thought in my mind of, yeah, I want to do that. And the reason why that's a big deal is if you are an entrepreneur, you know that it takes a couple months or even a couple years to get to that point where you are deep enough into your business where you have built it with depth and the strength that it can support you and that it can pay you that full-time income, and that you're not constantly wondering, is this what I'm really supposed to be doing, and second guessing yourself. And so for me to get to that point where I am so confident and in love with my business and what I do, that I didn't even have that desire to go back to working for somebody else making whatever they would have offered me, $10, $12, $15 an hour, is a really big deal. I mean, even if it was even more, $20 an hour, whatever, I still wouldn't have taken it because I have gotten to the point on my journey as an entrepreneur that I realize how much potential I really do have. But regardless of all that, it kind of did stir up some things as I was getting ready today. And so I just wanted to share some of the reasons why I decided to stop working for someone else and to become an entrepreneur and a small business owner. So the first reason is creativity. I was reminded of a time back in high school when I did this amazing report. I mean, it was perfect. It was just so well done and I was so proud of it. And I handed it in and I was so excited because I knew I was gonna get an A on it. I just knew it. I was a straight A student and that was just my passion, was to, I just got so much satisfaction out of seeing those good grades. And the teacher handed it back to me a couple days later and it had a C- on it. And I was devastated. I had never gotten a C in my life on an assignment, in a class, nothing. And so I went to him and I said, why did you give me a C on this? And he said, oh, everything in it was perfect. It was brilliant. I just don't like the format. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, if you change around the fonts and the headings and you put it in a different format, you'll probably get an A+ on it, plus extra credit. I was like, okay. So I went back, literally took me 30 seconds to redo the format. I handed it in and my grade on it went from a C- to 110% A+. And I should have been happy and I should have been thrilled that my grade had changed and that the C wasn't gonna affect me at all, but emotionally it did. And it kind of put this seed in my heart and in my brain that basically told me, if you don't do something the way that a superior or that somebody that's in a position of authority wants you to do it, you're not good enough. Even if the material is great, even if your heart's in the right place, even if the intelligence is there and it's brilliant, if it doesn't look the way that somebody else wants it to look, it's not good enough. And I didn't like that. And that's one of the reasons why I don't want my daughter to go to public school. I think the grading system is absolute bull. I don't think it truly identifies real issues, and I don't think it's a good scale on which to judge intelligence or how well something was completed, especially in a situation like that where the content was brilliant. He just didn't like the way that it looked on paper. So that was brought up because that's one of the things I really love about being an entrepreneur, is that I get to use the creative gifts that God gave me, and I get to utilize the way that my brain works. And when I have an idea that just lights a fire in me, I get to act on it and not be afraid of repercussion, or not be afraid of having to redo it, or not be afraid of criticism from somebody in a higher up position that can somehow affect my pay scale or my success. And so that was a really big moment. I don't even know why I was remembering that. It was a fleeting moment. It was one assignment in high school, but that is one of the reasons why I do what I do now. So another one of my huge whys is, of course, Essence, my 4-year-old daughter. She's amazing. She's a handful, but she's amazing. And I refuse to have her in a daycare or with a babysitter or with a nanny. I refuse to put her in public school. I refuse to pay someone else to raise my child that I created within my body and that I gave birth to. I refuse to be away from her. I believe that because of our connection, and because she is half of me and half of her dad, and because I know and love her dad so dearly and know how he works, and I know definitely how I work, I feel like I can teach her and train her and lead her so much better than anybody in the public school system, or even someone with a degree could, because we have that connection. And clearly my theory so far has been right, because she is one of the smartest, most eloquent, most just articulate, brilliant, smart, funny, sharp, fast on her feet, witty little human beings I've ever met in my entire life. And she learns so quickly, and she's such a joy to be around, and she's so compassionate and kind and loving towards others, and on the same hand has an attitude that is just out of this world. Her sass is just incredible. But I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And being an entrepreneur meant that I was able to be there for her, and be there with her every moment of the day, and not only avoid situations that weren't healthy, but just to have that motherhood experience that she deserves and that I deserve. And so that, thinking about that, brought me to the next situation that happened a couple years ago. I remember I was working for this doctor, and she came up, and I was sitting at the desk doing some paperwork, and she looks at me and she says, "I hope you're not planning on having any more babies within the next 2 years, because I have plans for you here, and that would be extremely inconvenient for me. So if I find out that you're having unprotected sex and that you are putting yourself in a position to get pregnant, I will beat your ass." And she was joking, but what the hell? I mean, what a weird thing for your boss to say. And I was married, and we already had Essence. So it was like, if my husband and I choose to conceive a child to be a sibling to our already amazing daughter, that is our decision, and no one else's at all. No one else has a say in it. No one in my family, no one in his family, and certainly not someone that's only paying me $15 an hour. Like, no. But it totally caught me off guard, and it really made me think, this person really thinks that they own my soul. They think that they own my future, my choices, my body, my family, my life, my time. And she was partially correct, because of how much time and energy I was investing into it, and how badly I wanted to succeed, and how much fear I had of getting fired, and how much I desperately wanted to fit in at that point. It did plant a seed in my mind, and I started thinking about that. Like, I was almost afraid, like, what if I get pregnant? Like, what is my boss gonna think of me? And so when I came to, and my brain regulated itself, and I realized how absolutely inappropriate and ridiculous it was for her to say that, and how untrue that it would be a burden or that it would be a negative situation for me to carry another child, it was even more of a motivation to really just completely become an independent contractor, and that's exactly what I did. I wasn't with the company that I'm with now, so my endeavors for that next year were not as profitable. I had to balance 4 or 5 independent gigs in order to not even make what I'm making now with my one job, working for myself. But I was so desperate to not have that feeling of someone controlling me or of someone having some type of say over what I do with my life, that was worth the risk for me. That was worth not having that 9-to-5 job that had that steady paycheck. That was more than worth it to me, because, you know, I would love to have another child. I have shared in previous videos that I've had 3 miscarriages, you know, after Essence, and so, you know, God hasn't blessed us with a healthy pregnancy or with another baby yet, but I know He will. I have a very strong feeling, and so does my husband, that our next child will be a boy. We'll have a son, and I don't know when that's going to happen, but the second half of my why is not only my child right now, but my future child, because I didn't get that experience that I got, that I have now with Essence. I didn't have that at first. You know, she was in daycare when she was really little, and she did have nannies and babysitters and caretakers, and it wasn't worth it, you know, just to feel like, you know, I don't like feeling like I had to give up my motherhood, and I had to give up precious time with this little baby that I had created just so that I could not be evicted or not lose my car or not be homeless, or like, that's not fair. That's not a way that I want to live. I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to be motivated by what happens if I lose this. I don't want to be motivated by that. I don't want to wake up and my driving force be what I don't want to happen. I want my driving force to be what I do want to happen. The dreams that I do want to actually come true. The dreams that I have for my family financially and locationally and spiritually. Like, I want to be able to pursue those without fear. I don't want to be driven or motivated by the fear of losing the quality of life that I have. So that was definitely another reason why I decided that becoming an entrepreneur was going to be the best path for me. Another reason, this might sound super silly, but I am not a morning person. I'm not a morning person at all, like at all. I don't like getting out of bed before 10. When I do have to get out of bed, I'm really great at setting an alarm, getting up, being on time, being punctual. But my body is like hating me for it. Like, I'm like sluggish. Like, I literally feel physically nauseous when I have to get up too early. My body's just like moving slower. It's like I'm walking through some slow motion dream or walking through water. It's just ridiculous. Like, I don't like getting up early. I don't like it. And I don't like feeling rushed. I don't like feeling like, you know, I have to be somewhere right now, otherwise there's going to be some type of consequence. I don't like feeling like that. I enjoy being able to wake up when I want to wake up. I enjoy being able to go to sleep when I want to go to sleep. I enjoy being able to work really hard when I want to, but not have to ask someone if I can use the restroom, or not have to explain to someone why I want to take a day off because my child is sick, or not have to hope and pray that maybe I'll get some vacation time and hinge my plans and my vacation and my dreams and my traveling and my future on a scheduler. That's not fun to me. That's torture, honestly. That sounds torturous. And I refused. I refused to continue to live a life like that. I was so sick of feeling like I was on somebody else's time schedule. I was so sick of feeling like my life and my soul and my time and my day belonged to someone else, which is essentially what you're doing when you're an employee. They are trading you your time for a specific set amount of money, whether that's a salary or an hourly wage, and they are making way more money off of you than you'll ever make off of them. And I don't like that. I don't like that mindset. I love what I do now because I'm not a boss. at all. The girls that are on my team are my business partners. I am their coach, I am their mentor, I am their leader, but I'm not their boss. I don't tell them what to do, when to do it. There is no super hard, tough love on my team. There is no yelling, there is no impatience, there is no threatening, there is no guilt trips, there is no, well, why aren't you making me as much money as I want to be making? There's none of that. The only thing that happens on my team is I will work with you as much as you want me to work with you, and you and I are going to take over the world and build our empires together. And if you want to go slower than me, that's fine. I'm not going to slow down because you know, are going a little bit slower. But I'm not going to drag you along. I'm not going to expect you to work at the pace that I'm working, because I understand that that's not ideal, and it's not what everyone is looking for, you know? However, I know that there are a ton of people like me out there that have the exact same mindset as me and the same situation as me, and are so sick and tired of either not being able to go as fast as they want to because there's all these ceilings that you keep hitting, or B, being forced to go at a pace that isn't comfortable for you, or that doesn't fit your lifestyle, or that's putting you in a really emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically hard place because you just can't meet all the demands, whether you're in school or you're a mom or you're a wife or you are dealing with a child who has an illness, and you can't be expected to commit 100% of your time every single day to going to a 9-to-5 job. And you know, that's not to say that, you know, there isn't going to be work involved. There's a lot of work involved. In fact, probably more work involved than if you were working for somebody else, but you're not on a schedule, and that is something that was really important to me. I wanted to be able to take a day off with my family, and not have that fear of, oh my gosh, am I gonna have a job to go back to? I wanted to be able to take a couple-day vacation to Washington last summer and not feel like, you know, I was gonna get fired, or I was gonna be skipped over for a promotion because I wasn't showing that I was committed enough by working my tail into the ground. Which, by the way, when I was in Washington in the middle of nowhere, I promoted to diamond. So I was able to take my business with me, which is another reason why I adore this business. I never have to feel like I'm not able to make money. If I want to pick up my entire life and move to a different state, I can. If I want to pick up my life and move to a different country that that our company is in, one of the 18 that we're in, I can do that, and my job comes with me. So it's amazing. It's incredible. And so definitely being able to create my own schedule is another huge reason why I've chosen to be an entrepreneur. The last reason I am absolutely in love with what I do and why I decided to become an entrepreneur is the growth potential. I love the fact that there are people making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month in my company and in my business, and I know 110% that I have everything that it takes and more to get to that point, and I know I'm going to get to that point. But there's no way that I would ever get to that point if I was working for somebody else, or if I was in corporate America, or if, you know, they required me to have a certain degree, or look a certain way, or act a certain way, or work a certain amount of hours, or you know, move or locate to a different place. It's just, I love the freedom that comes with this. I love the freedom to run as fast as I want and to make as much money as I want, and nobody's gonna cap me. There is no, oh, well, you made too much money, so we're gonna change the compensation plan so that we don't have to pay you as much as we owe you. You know, you hit a goal and they pay you. You know, you hit another goal and they pay you again, and you hit another goal and they pay you again. And so the fact that I'm in a position now where not only do I have the opportunity to make money that is just out of this world, but I am gaining unbelievable experience in leadership and in network marketing and in advertising and in sales and in compensation plans and in commission-based jobs and in health and wellness products, and it's just amazing how much knowledge I'm gaining from literally purchasing a $99 starter kit. Granted, my girls that join my team do have a little bit of a leg up because I did not have someone teaching me all that stuff. I kind of had to teach myself. But so they do have kind of a leg up that they have me to train them and to pour into them and to be available to them to all help them get to the level that I'm at now. But I love it. I love the fact that that I'm able to help other women get to that point. I love the fact that I can use all of my skills to create a business, to create training material, to create opportunities for people where there wasn't any, and I love the hope that I'm able to offer people and the hope that this opportunity has given me. So yeah, being an entrepreneur, it takes a lot, you know, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of self-discipline, it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of long hours, and it takes sacrifice, you know, it takes, you know, being able to be really strong in what you believe, and it takes being able to work really hard for yourself without somebody leaning over you, and it takes a really strong why. And of course I have a million other, like, I'm so sick of, or I was so sick of living in poverty. I was so sick of not ever having enough. I was so sick of not being able to afford the food that I wanted or that we needed. I was just sick of it, you know? And so now looking back on this last year and looking forward, being an entrepreneur and taking that leap was by far the craziest and best decision I ever made, ever. And I am so grateful that that I was brave enough to just do it, even though I was terrified, even though I didn't know if it was gonna work, even though I didn't know if anyone was ever gonna buy anything from me or ever want to join my team, even though I had no idea who I was yet. I had no idea what I was capable of. I had no idea how valuable I was. I had no idea how successful I was gonna be. I had no idea that this is exactly what I was created to do. But now I do, and it's amazing. So anyhow, that concludes today's couch talk. I know it's been a while. If you guys like these couch talks and you like the videos that I am doing and you are loving the material that I'm putting on my YouTube channel, definitely leave a comment below and don't forget to subscribe. Reason being, I don't share my videos right away when I first publish them on Instagram or on Facebook, so this would be the way to get first viewing access. And I love you guys, and I will see you guys next time, either on Couch Talk or whatever other type of video I decide to publish. So thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.